everyone!
Hello.
Now, you are either currently seeing
some random picture,
or I have gone to the effort of inserting card pictures. So right now, a whole bunch of random cards are going to fly by.
You reckon?
Yeah, if that happened, then I did the card thing. If not, sorry.
Yeah, we're recording our limited overview for Fate Reforged just in time for your pre-release weekend.
Nice.
And we're going to go through, not all the cards in the set.
Nope.
But we're going to go through, not by any stretch of the imagination, all the cards in the set.
No.
But we're going to go through kind of
relevant.
Yeah, just stuff. We're going to spend very little time on the rares. We're going to focus mostly on the commons and uncommons because that's what you're going to be playing with for the most part. And we're going to hope to give you a bit of an idea of what's going on. Dennis is now clicking. You're going to hear typing and clicking as well.
That's because we're going to be looking at the cards on my computer.
Yeah. I'm looking at the cards on my phone over here.
All right. So, what was the first thing you wanted to talk about?
The first thing I have in my notes. I have notes. I'm so well prepared for this.
I'm going to play it off as a deliberate decision that I didn't do any preparation, but I just didn't.
You forgot to do stuff.
Yeah.
No, the first thing I wanted to talk about are the mechanics in the set. Right? Fate Reforged is a small set, so I believe that means there's 175 cards, something like that.
185 cards.
185 cards, that includes
lands.
The lands, yeah. First thing I wanted to talk about, the headlining mechanic of the set is Manifest. We'll be showing you some Manifest card now, or we're not, which is awkward. Anyway, Manifest, according to the reminder text, says to manifest the card, you put it into play face down as a 2/2 creature. All face down permanents are 2/2 creatures in the current rules, and you can turn it face up if it's a creature at any time for its mana cost.
Yes,
I believe is how it is worded.
Put it onto the battlefield face down as a 2/2 creature. Turn it face up at any time for its mana cost if it is a creature card.
If it is a creature card.
However, if that creature happens to have Morph from Cans of Tarkir, you can turn it up for its Morph cost instead.
That is just that's in the release notes, and that's a function of the way Morph is worded.
Yes.
Manifest is worded the same way as Morph. It says at any time. That means it is a special action.
Exactly the same way Morph was. Doesn't use the stack. Can't be responded to. You do need to have priority to do it, obviously.
Yes, same way you need to have priority to tap a land.
Yeah.
Right? I was thinking to myself, this is kind of a tangent, I was thinking to myself about why it's a special action, why it can't just use the stack. I think it's probably something to do with the ordering of activating abilities.
Right.
You have to declare any cost-altering effects, pay all relevant costs, and then put the ability on the stack. And until a morph is face up, there's no way for your opponent to confirm what the cost is.
Sure.
So, it just avoids some rules nightmares.
Okay. Manifest, incidentally, produces a whole bunch of new rules nightmares.
Not rules nightmares per se. It doesn't change a whole lot of things for Cans Limited in terms of rules. Things to be aware of. At the common and uncommon level, you will, I believe exclusively, I may be wrong about this, but I believe exclusively be manifesting cards from the top of your library. There are cards at Rare that manifest from other places, but when you manifest using commons and uncommons, you'll be taking a card from the top of your library, your opponent won't see it, and you'll put it into play as a face-down 2/2.
And like a morph, you can look at it at any time.
Yes. In terms of rules interactions, like you said, if it is a creature, you can turn it face up at any time for its mana cost. If it is a creature with morph, you may turn it face up at any time for either its morph cost or its manifest cost. There are some weird interactions with things like this. Like any card that had morph and had a trigger when turned face up will still trigger if you turn it up for its mana cost.
So your Master of Pearls can be turned up for 2, or your Spell Snatcher can turn up for 4 and will still counter a spell.
The big headliner one that when people saw Manifest was, Hooded Hydra. Because you can turn a Hooded Hydra face up for green, and it will still put 5 plus 1. You can turn it up for green and 10 if you want. It will still put 5 plus 1 counters on it. Other things similar to Morph, a creature being turned face up is not a creature entering the battlefield.
Nope.
And a creature being turned face up will not have summoning sickness if it was brought in, if it was not cast.
It's the same object.
Yes, it is not a new object. Any auras or counters or equipments or anything like that will still be on the creature. Soul Bond, I don't know if you're playing EDH. The creature doesn't leave the battlefield or enter the battlefield when it's turned face up.
It just changes modes.
Exactly. Morph is a state of a card.
Yeah.
So that's that. That's all the rules things. There might be something else that will come up, fringe interactions, but the biggest problem is board complexity.
In paper.
In paper, Magic Online will handle all of this for you.
There's a different token for manifest cards.
In your packs of Cans of Tarkir, you got morph overlays, they call them. You'll get manifest overlays in your packs of Fate Reforged. They look slightly different.
They're different color, and the spinning ball thing is facing the opposite way.
It
also says manifest on it.
Yes. So ideally, you'll have an unlimited supply of morph and manifest cards with numbers written on them.
Spoiler alert, you won't.
No, because you're playing a draft with your friends and you've got 10 manifest cards and you've opened 2 manifest
You're going to have
cards.
to work it out yourself, maybe keep them separate on the board.
The way I was planning it out was I'd have my face-up creatures in the middle, my morph creatures on the left, my manifest creatures on the right.
And then write on them, on a piece of paper, what number they are.
Exactly. But it does make things tricky. You are required at... anything above regular REL,
I think so,
to keep track of what order your morphs enter the battlefield.
Yeah.
You won't really be penalized for it at regular.
No.
You'll just be told.
Alright, we're getting bogged down.
Yeah.
Bolster.
You want to move on to bolster?
Move on.
Okay. And I just want to mention some things. What do you think of manifest as a mechanic?
It's fine. 2/2s are fine. Morphs are fine. Sometimes you can flip it up, sometimes you can't.
Most of the time, it's just incidental value.
Sure.
There are cards that interact interestingly with manifest, things like the manifest enchantments, which should be on your screen now. I'm putting a lot of pressure on you, Dennis.
Yeah, well, you know.
Dennis has promised to do all the editing for this. But they're called Lightform, Cloudform, Rageform.
Sure.
Is that right?
Sure.
And they, like Cloudform, for example, is a 1 blue enchantment. It's worded a little bit weirdly, but the end result is you get a manifested creature from the top of your library with this attached to it,
which gives it flying
and hexproof.
And if it's a creature, you can turn it up. If it's not, you just have this permanently stuck face down 2/2.
Would you pay 3 mana for a 2/2 flying hexproof?
Yes,
absolutely.
I would also play 3 mana for probably most of the other ones. I think
there's a 3 mana. The white one gives flying and lifelink for 3, and the red one gives 2. It gives double strike for 4.
It's great.
Yeah. Rageform in particular, if you happen to hit a creature, there's enormous potential for upside.
Yeah, because you can flip it up, and then it's just whatever creature it was, but it has double strike now.
Yeah. So I think these cards are fantastic.
I think they're good too.
Very difficult to get blown out. Yeah. Even if they destroy the enchantment, you've got a 2/2. If they destroy the creature, you've been 1-for-1 to whatever.
Yeah.
And the potential for upside is huge.
Yep, and they're very good. They're all uncommon.
Yep. There are other cards that interact with manifest.
There's Soul Summons, which is just 1 and a white to manifest the top card of your library.
There's the Ethereal Ambush, I believe is the card. The 3 green-blue manifest 2 cards from your library.
Yeah, pretty good.
As an instant, which means you can flash them in to block things. Or if you've got hella mana, flash it in and flip something up to block something big. And then there's some other stuff that interacts with manifest at rare in some complicated ways. There's that Jeskai Infiltrator guy who's...
Not worry about that. Not worry about that.
So, generally speaking, manifest is a pretty good mechanic. I personally think it was a mistake to put it in a block with morph, just because of the complexity of the board.
Alright.
Remembering what's what is a pain.
But if it was in a block without morph, it just looks like morph light.
Yeah, but I think it's a fine mechanic.
Fine. Bolster.
Bolster is the new Abzan mechanic. They've replaced Outlast in Fate Reforged.
Yep.
Bolster is worded as Bolster N. It's a keyword mechanic, which means the word actually has rules implications.
Yeah, not like Raid.
No, or Ferocious. What Bolster does is Bolster N. You put N counters on a creature you control with the lowest power, I believe is the wording.
I want to say this right. I want to say it's power. I'm trying to find a bolster card now. There'll be one on the screen already.
There we go.
There you go. Lowest toughness.
Lowest toughness. I had that wrong. Okay. So things to note.
Can't get blown out by this.
Bolster does not target.
No. It resolves when you cast it. So if you have 2 creatures and you go, I bolster, and they go, okay, I killed your lowest toughness creature, the other creature will just get the counters instead.
If you have multiple creatures tied for the lowest toughness, you choose.
Upon resolution.
Upon resolution. Again, it doesn't target. So there's no way to not let you get the counters except by killing all of your creatures.
Except if you only have 1 creature and they kill it.
Yeah.
That's kind of it for bolster.
Bolster's very straightforward. A lot of cards have incidental bolster on them. There's one card in particular that's just bolster 3, and that's pretty cool. There's one that's, I think it's target player sacrifices an enchantment, bolster 1. Almost main deckable enchantment removal. You know?
Yeah, pretty close. It's an instant too.
Yeah, so it's a combat trick, a mediocre combat trick at the very worst.
Yeah,
but sometimes it's just incidental.
And notably, there are more enchantment because they're like Naturalize was just awful in cans. There are more now.
Yeah, we have the sieges at rare and
the rune marks.
The rune marks are common, and the forms, the manifest forms at uncommon, and some others floating around. Yeah. There's a mild enchantment matters theme going on.
There's just some enchantments, I think. I don't think
no, there's like the guy who can return an
enchantment
to your hand. There's the enchantment that counts other enchantments. The aura that counts other auras.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, there's some more auras.
And our final new mechanic is
dash. What does dash do, Dennis?
Dash lets you pay a creature's dash cost instead of its converted mana cost, and then you put it into play. It gains haste until end of turn, and then at the end of your turn, you return it to your hand.
I'm going to make a small correction here.
It gains haste forever, technically, I think.
You are casting the spell. It's not an ability like
Blood Rush
or something like that. You are casting the spell for an alternate cost.
Yeah.
So you don't just put it into play, it does go on the stack.
Yeah.
But yes, the creature gets haste and returns to your hand. If any of you played way back in the day with Viashinos, do you remember Viashinos, Dennis?
No.
Viashinos had this mechanic built into them.
Okay. Yeah, it's an alternate cost.
So why would you pay a dash cost?
Because some of them do things when they attack. It's like there's one that falters, makes a creature unable to block.
Yeah.
And you might want to repeat that effect.
Sure.
Because it does that when it enters the battlefield, not when it attacks, I believe.
I don't know about that one. I don't know which card you mean. But anyway.
Here it is. Oh no, it is when it attacks. Goblin Heel Cutter.
Yeah.
Is 3 in a red. Whenever it attacks, target creature can't block this turn, but it's 2 in a red to dash it.
So the other thing that dash does is it allows for surprise kills. You can kind of go, I've got 6 mana, you've got enough blockers to stay alive, but surprise, I dash 2 things and you die.
Yeah.
I think there's not a lot of times you're going to be casting things for their dash cost. It's going to be rare, I would think, that you actually want to dash things. It doesn't seem like a good early game play.
No.
Because you're not getting anything on board for it. I think it's more of a surprise late game finisher thing. Because the creature gets haste. So it's a downside way to give a creature haste. I think that's all I really want to say about dash.
I'm just looking at dash cards now.
Yeah, I think most of them are you're more likely to just play them.
Yeah, I would agree.
But you can surprise people with dash cards in the late game to finish them off. I think it's quite an underwhelming mechanic. I'm not a huge fan of it.
I like it design wise. It's
the
not very
other
powerful.
thing it does in a fringe case is say right this turn you need to trigger raid.
Yeah, you can do that.
You can dash a creature. So there's a little bit of synergy between the Mardu mechanics. But I think in general, dash is a little bit weak. I may be wrong. There may be applications I'm not thinking of. But yeah, it seems like you're rarely going to be dashing cards. Most of the dash costs are fairly close to the mana cost of the creatures.
I'm looking through now. They seem to just be 1 less almost all
a
the
lot
time.
of the time, yeah.
One of them is more expensive.
Interestingly.
It's a single black for 1/1 whenever it attacks, when it loses 1 life, and it's 1 black to dash it.
Interesting.
I don't get it.
It's bizarre.
It is a warrior, but...
Warriors!
And then Sultai and Jeskai retain prowess.
Sultai, Jeskai, and Temur kept their mechanics from Cans of Therakyr. So prowess is back, Delve is back, Ferocious is back.
Yeah.
That's all of the keyword mechanics in the set. There are a couple of other mechanics-ishy things. There's a cycle of modal creatures, I guess you'd call them.
The creature can enter the battlefield with either a +1/+1 counter
or an ETB effect.
Which does not trigger if you manifest it.
Correct.
Because it doesn't enter the battlefield. So, for example, there's 3 blue for a 2/2 flyer, which could be a 3/3 flyer, or you can bounce target. I want to say it's permanent.
You could be right.
Is it a permanent or creature? It'll be on the screen now, hopefully.
So, these are all, with the exception of the red one, quite efficient.
Yep.
Most of the time, when you put the +1/+1 counter on them, they're just decent bodies. And having the option to do something else is always strong.
None of them are amazing bodies. Like, that's a 5 mana 3/3 flyer, and it's creature.
There's a 3 mana 1/2 that can be a 2/3.
Yeah.
I think the best one is the white one, which can either be a 3 mana 3/2 or a 2/1 and a 1/1 spirit. Very, very good card. But just the versatility of all of them makes them fairly strong. The red one is very weak. It's either an inefficient body or some artifact removal and a body. An even less efficient body. Defiant Ogre.
Is it a 6 mana for a 4/6 or 6 mana for a 3/5 and it kills the thing?
6 mana for a 4/6 isn't the worst thing in the world.
It kills an artifact, that is.
It does kill an artifact, yeah. Other mechanics include the check whether my friends are here mechanic.
Yeah.
This comes on creatures and auras at common, I believe.
Do you know any of the card names? Future Dennis will, but
Future
current
Dennis will
does not.
So the creatures are all based in they're monocolored creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Jeskai Rune Mark. Check that one.
The rune marks.
The rune marks are the cycle of common auras, right?
Yes. They all cost 2 and a black.
2 and a color.
Yeah.
They are enchantments that give a creature +2/+2, and if their friends are here,
Yes.
so in this case the Teamer Rune Mark, it's a green aura that checks for a blue or a red permanent.
And if that is there, the creature also gets trample.
Yeah. So
the blue one gives flying, red one gives first strike, white one gives vigilance, black one gives death touch, which is boo.
But so and there's creatures that do similar things. So there's the black 2-drop. Again, I've forgotten his name. Can you find him for me there?
It'll be on the screen.
It'll be on the screen. It's a black 2-drop. He's a 1 and a black 2/2. He's the Mardu one. So if you control a red or white permanent, he gets +1/+0 on first strike. So the creatures, unlike the modal creatures, these ones are all efficient bodies to begin with that get very good if you control the correct color.
He is called Battle Brawler.
Battle Brawler.
1 and a black for a 2/2 Orc Warrior, and if you control a red or a white permanent, he has +1/+0 and first strike.
So all of these are uncommon creatures. There's 5 of them, 1 in each clan.
So we would agree they're all playable.
Playable without any of the permanents.
But good, quite good with them.
I think some of them are very reasonable first picks.
I don't know about that.
I mean, the point is, like, you'll never not use a bear.
But the thing is, like, it's a permanent. It's not a land.
That's true. It's not like the M15 cycle.
If you go turn 2 Battle Brawler, it's going to be wild for get your thing. Because you go turn 3 Morph, that's colorless. Possibly go turn 4 Morph, also colorless.
Yeah.
Maybe turn 5 you flip it up and one of it happens to be red or white, then sure.
Mm-hmm.
And like this obviously favors Mardu, but it'll trigger an Abzan.
Agreed.
After white stuff.
And in
Sultai have nothing.
Yeah. Or in your 5-color deck off something. I don't know. Okay. But anyway, the auras work a little bit like you're right about the creatures. The auras you'll tend to have the extra. Like if you put the blue aura on a red creature, it's going to have flying, and it's never going to lose flying unless it's dead.
Yeah,
auras are inherently a little bit risky. These ones I think are playable.
And they're pretty good. They're okay.
I mean,
hey Oisin, why are auras risky?
Because if the creature is killed or removed or flickered or bounced or leaves the board for some reason, you have just been 2 for 1.
So you might say it's risky if in case they have a
whisk away
removal spell.
Oh, you want to do removal spells now?
Yeah.
Okay. One thing I wanted to do is go through the removal in the format. I think formats are often defined by their removal.
Yeah, it defines how quick format is, how good
auras
are,
how powerful a creature has to be before it's
good. Sure.
So Cans as a format had not weak removal.
I'd say weak removal.
Weaker than what we saw in the past. Probably stronger than Theros as a format.
I don't think it's much stronger. Like why? What's stronger?
Well, Theros removal was quite weak because of the whole Voltron format.
Yeah, sure.
It was weak by necessity.
Like the Cans at uncommon has Murder's Cut and Suspension Field,
which are powerful as hell.
And then after that, it falls off exceptionally quickly.
Like you end up playing things like Bring Low and Kill Shot and being very happy about it, whereas playing those 3 years ago in a limited format would have been laughable.
But this is the world we live in now.
This is New World Order. Yeah. So going through the removal in the format, we've got more instant speed kill.
Yeah.
A lot more instant speed kill than we saw in Cans. We have things like Dousing Gloom. Mm-hmm. We have, which is 3 mana. It might be on the screen. Hopefully. It's 3 mana for 2 damage to a creature, and you gain 2 life in black. As an instant at common.
Also known as Kill Amorph.
Kill Amorph, gain 2 life.
Or a manifest. Let's put that mana.
Reach of Shadows.
Yep.
is the new kind of, I guess you could call that the new throttle.
Yeah.
But it does kill anything except a morph. The creature has to be one or more colors. It's 5 mana instant, destroy target creature that's one or more colors.
That's a great card.
Very good card.
It's a great card.
Yeah, this is the best we get.
Because you don't really want to kill their morph until after they flipped it up.
Agreed.
And now this will kill it.
And
unless it's a Witness of the Ages.
I mean, throttle was a high pick-ish.
Middling pick, I'd say.
And this is going to be higher than that.
This is higher than that, yeah.
It is a common, so I think, removal's gotten better with Fate Reforged.
I would agree.
Now, I just want to bring this up now. Anything we say about the format changing, it's going to be marginal, because you're
It's
only
still
drafting
2/3
one
counts.
pack of Fate Reforged.
Fate Reforged is first, though.
Yeah, it will influence a lot of your decisions.
Which is important.
There's Bathe in Dragonfire is another card I wanted to point out.
Terrible name.
Yes, but very good card. 3 mana, Flame Slash. For those of you who didn't play with Flame Slash, 4 damage to a creature. You can't hit a player with it, and it is a sorcery.
But it'll kill a thing. It'll kill quite a few things you're worried about.
Yeah.
Not all. It won't hit your Snowhorn Riders or anything like that. But it'll hit your Abzan guys.
The nice thing about a card like Bathe in Dragonfire, despite it being a sorcery, it's very often going to be killing a card that costs more than 3.
Exactly.
And at that point, you're not only getting sometimes card advantage, you're getting tempo advantage as well. Friendly Fire. Don't play this card. Don't play this card. Friendly Fire
is 3 and a red. Also a lot.
Do you want to read this one, Dennis? I feel like this is one of your favorites, right?
Yeah. Friendly Fire.
Yeah.
3 and a red. Target creature's controller reveals a card at random from his or her hand.
Oh, you get to use your dice for more than counting your life.
Friendly Fire deals damage to that creature and that player equal to the revealed card's converted mana cost.
So you're going to be sandbagging lands all game to play around Friendly Fire, right, Dennis?
No. It's an uncommon, which means I don't have to look at it.
The card is absolutely terrible.
Never tell goblins to fire at will. Who's Will? Poor Will.
Poor Will getting shot.
Yeah, it's crap.
It's a terrible, terrible, terrible card.
Explain. 4 mana
is
and
expensive.
You have to choose the thing first, the creature first.
Which means it might be 4 mana, discard a card.
Before discard a card, deal 3 damage to your opponent. In case they're
maybe.
It might be 0 if they reveal a land.
Yep.
They have to have cards in hand.
Yep.
They have to have a card in hand that has whose converted mana cost is equal or higher to the toughness of a creature you have chosen before you knew what that card was, chosen at random.
Yep.
That's like 4 steps of separation between you and getting a 1-for-1.
Yep. And, I think the card is unplayable.
If you point this at a 2/2, there's a decent chance
you won't kill the 2/2.
I mean, you probably will. People will play their lands.
Yeah.
You'll probably kill the 2, but you spent 4 mana to kill it. I think for killing morphs, it's not the worst. Because at that point, it's kill your morph, probably kill your morph, do 2 damage to you, possibly do much more. My
concern is that I don't want to pay 4 mana to probably kill a morph.
That's fair. The reason I don't think this card is good is because sometimes it does nothing.
Exactly. And when you can't control what's happening there, you can say that about most cards. Sometimes cards do nothing. But when they're gonna do nothing and they're in your hand, they're gonna do nothing.
Yeah, this you don't know.
Until it's finished resolving and you spend 4 mana.
Now, it would follow that the later the game goes,
the worse it
gets. To a point. Because people will have their 6 drops and their 5 drops left in their hand.
Well, they'll have their 6 drops and their 5 drops left in their hand in the early turns as well.
Yeah, but you'll be less likely to hit them because they'll still have lands left in their hand. So it peaks maybe around turn 4 or 5 and then plummets as they empty their hand.
Yeah, it's a horrible top deck when you're both top decking.
You can ask during their draw step and hope they didn't draw land.
Sure, yeah. I think
it's not good.
I will never put that card in my deck.
I don't think I will either, but I'm willing to be prepared to think that it's not.
You're willing to be prepared to think that it maybe perhaps is not the worst thing that you've ever seen in the world.
Yeah, I'm removing myself.
Including genocide.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just. I'm never going to put it in my deck.
I don't think I will either. But I just want to give it the F, not the F-.
Yeah. Now, the problem I have here is we spent a lot of time talking about it, and that card's going to stick in your head now. Don't ever put it in your deck.
I'll put a little...
Yeah.
I'll cover it up in the video.
Yeah. Other cards. White got some good.
Sure.
It got some new toys. White already had some of the best removal in cans. White and black were where the removal was.
Smite the Monstrous, Kill Shots,
Suspension Field.
I guess Suspension Field, sure.
Now we have Sandblast, a common, I believe.
I will double check that.
Sandblast
is a common.
3 mana, 5 instant, 5 damage to an attacking or blocking creature.
Which is just Kill Shot again.
It can hit a blocker.
So it's just Divine Verdict again for 90% of cases. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think it's probably better than Divine Verdict in the decks that want it. Because it's 3 mana and it will kill most things.
Isn't that a different card? 3 mana Divine Verdict isn't that Neck Snap?
I don't know that card. But anyway, Sandblast I think is quite good.
I would agree.
The fact that you can hit a blocker makes it probably better than Kill Shot.
Probably just better than Kill Shot. Doesn't definitely kill it, but pretty certainly kills it. Yeah.
Most things it will kill.
Yeah.
For the things it won't kill, we have Valorous Stance.
Yes.
Very, very, very good card.
1 and a white. Destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. Or target creature gains indestructible until end of turn and is an instant.
Mm-hmm.
That is either my guy that was going to trade eats your guy, or my guy's protected from removal, or what have you, or it is
kill a big thing.
Yeah.
For 2 mana at instant speed.
That is a first pick.
That is definitely a first pick.
I would agree.
It's versatile. It's efficient. It's
powerful. It's especially good in this format because people will morph their thing, pay 5 to unflip it, and then you go cool, buy.
Yeah.
For 2 mana. You invested 8 mana into your Snowhorn Rider,
and I just shot it.
And
with
now it's gone.
Yeah. Very constructive playable if that's something you're interested in. Blue White Heroic probably wants that.
Sure.
Because it wants both modes.
It's just 4 more God's Willings.
Yeah. But also
good,
the first 4 removal spells it's ever played.
Yeah.
But yeah, very powerful card. And then also in white we have Channel Harm, which
you are very excited about.
I'm very high on this card. I'm willing to be proved wrong, but I'm very high on this card. It's 5 and a white for an instant. You prevent all damage that would be dealt to you and permanents you control this turn by sources you don't control. So we've seen that kind of card before. It's Safe Passage. If damage is prevented this way, however, you may have Channel Harm deal that much damage to target creature.
Important to note, in combat this turn, your creatures will still damage theirs. So anything that would have been a trade, your creatures will now eat them, and you get the damage that the other creatures would have dealt.
I didn't check the rules on this, but if let's say for example, you have 4 3/3s in play,
right,
and I have 2 3/3s in play,
right,
and you attack me with your 4 3/3s,
right,
and I block 2 of your 3/3s with 2 of my 3/3s, and I cast Channel Harm. Can I kill both of your other 3/3s?
No, only deals with damage to one creature. You may have deal that much damage to target creature.
But if damage is prevented this way, you may have Channel Harm deal that much damage to target creature.
I think all the damage is collated into one.
I don't know if that's necessarily true, because let's say, for example, I don't know why this would happen, but I'd make a block, I Channel Harm, I redirect some damage, and then later in the turn you try and hit me with an Arrow Storm. I can still redirect that damage. Oh,
combat damage counts as one thing.
I know what it is. You have to choose the target when you cast Channel Harm. So any future damage will be redirected to the creature the Channel Harm targets. I should have figured this out in advance, but
I don't think you do choose.
You have to instance if they have the word target in them. You can't have a triggered ability.
Is this not a shield?
No. Channel Harm chooses a target as you cast it.
But then, if damage is presented this way, what?
This is super bizarre. I think the way it works is you choose a target as you put it on the stack, and it will only deal damage to that creature. And I believe if the creature is removed in response or is given protection, it will counter Channel Harm. These are rules we are now looking up. This is something we probably should have done in advance. This is why.
Why did you spring this on
me? This is the maverick nature of our. What? This is the maverick nature.
I'm currently wrestling with the Wizards website.
Yeah, there's check the release notes.
That's what I'm trying to find.
Fate Forge release notes.
That's what I tried to do.
Is it on Gatherer yet?
No,
it's not on Gatherer yet.
I don't think so. No.
But yeah, we might. I'll move on a little bit.
I'll look it up afterwards and put an addendum in the video.
Yeah. So, Channel Harm, regardless of how the rules work, is going to be quite a powerful card.
Sure.
But we should probably have checked the rules before we started talking about it. Oh well. I'm not a judge. So, moving on. In blue. Blue gets a Doomblade-ish. Do you see this one?
Have you seen this? Have you seen this one?
Have you seen this one, Dennis? Reality Shift. Reality Shift is 1 in a blue. Exile target creature. Those aren't words you see on blue cards that often.
It's a good card.
But it does come with an addendum. Its controller manifests the top card of his or her library.
Worth it.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, because you exile their Bomb or their Sarkin.
But if you're just hitting, a 4-mana 3/3 with it,
don't do that then.
That's the thing. I don't know. I think it's playable. I think it's worse than it looks.
I would think I'm inclined to agree with that.
Because it is card disadvantage.
Technically, yes.
It is card disadvantage. There's no really getting away from that. And if it hits a creature, you might have just made things. You may have made things worse for yourself.
Yes.
It has the potential to backfire quite heavily.
But you can do it in response to a combat trick, or
you can. There are ways to eke out at least card parity with it.
But like sometimes they'll hit a land with their manifest, and you just give them a Grey Ogre. Yes. Or an instant or sorcery or an enchantment or whatever.
So, I think it's fine.
I think it's fine too. But I think it's quite good.
I want to see how it plays. I would be wary of it.
I would agree.
I won't be first picking this like I would have done.
You can do the same thing where they're like, morph my guy, flip my guy up. You wasted 8 mana for my
it is a good tempo play. And speaking of tempo, blue and white have been pushing towards the tempo sort of range in this set.
Yes.
A lot. It really helps the Jeskai plan from Cans. Blue also gets Whisk Away.
Yep.
So blue and white like dealing with attacking and blocking creatures, as it turns out. Whisk Away is a grip tide for only attacking and blocking creatures.
That's quite good if you're racing.
It's quite good if you need to buy time.
If you're ahead,
it's backbreaking.
It's pretty good because you're like, attack with these things. They say I'll block in such a way, and you go, okay,
you're drawing that
happens,
next.
You're drawing that again.
You're drawing dead, and I know it.
Yeah.
There are fetch lands, I guess you can possibly shuffle out of it, but generally speaking,
Whisk Away, while not amazing, I think it's okay. I think it's probably comparable to Griptide.
Yeah.
And Griptide's not amazing.
No, Griptide's a powerful card.
It's okay.
But yeah, I think Whisk Away fits into the Jeskai deck quite well.
It's awkward because, like, sure, it'll trigger prowess, but after they declare blockers.
Yes. Another thing I wanted to mention about the forms while we're talking about Jeskai. They're creatures that trigger prowess, which is kind of cute.
That's
in a
true.
Jeskai deck. There's a lot of very good prowess creatures. Like, the prowess creatures got a lot better in the set, I think. There's the 4-mana 2/3 flyer with prowess, and the 4-mana 3/3 prowess that gives something flying when you cast it on creature spell. That card's very powerful.
What's after Whisk Away?
I have Reality Shift.
Hunt the Week.
Oh, Hunt the Week is back, yeah. Oh, Rite of Undoing was the other blue one. I wanted to say it's bad. I think it's bad.
I didn't even know it existed. Oh yeah, this
Rite of Undoing is the Delve, what's it called? Peel from Reality.
It costs 5 instead of 4.
Well, Peel from Reality costs 2, didn't it?
Oh, it did, yeah. But it's an instant.
Peel from Reality was also an instant.
This is awful.
I think the card is bad. You have to return... I mean, you can hit, like... I don't know. You can hit your own... cloud form and get another manifest off it if that's something you're into.
Sure.
But in general, I think it's just a bad card.
What do you think of, while we're here, and it's a similar effect, Shifting Loyalties?
I think the card's awesome.
It's Shifting Loyalties, for those who don't know, is 5 and a blue for a sorcery. Exchange control of 2 target permanents that share a card type.
Also known as Upside Switcheroo.
Upside Switcheroo, because
Upside Switcheroo, by the way, would be a great name for a rap song. Upside Switcheroo.
It's a Bruno Mars song.
Yeah.
So that means I can give you my creature enchantment, which doesn't do anything for you, and steal your
Siege,
yeah.
The Siege is being the rare
or Ascendancy.
Yeah, or I can give you my 1/1 token I got from my Horde Chief
and take my dragon.
Yeah.
So
I think it's very good. I think Switcheroo is a powerful card. 6 mana is a lot. If a creature is removed in response, the spell will resolve, interestingly, but not do anything.
Yeah, because you can't.
It will resolve because at least one of its targets is there.
Yeah.
But it will not do anything because you can't exchange control of a creature that isn't there.
Yeah. I think it's quite a good card. I think it's good when you're behind. Here's my worst thing for the thing that's causing me trouble.
Yeah.
Great when you're ahead. Here's my worst thing for your best thing.
And now I'm beating you down.
And mediocre when you're at parity.
Yeah. I think it's overall quite a powerful card.
I would agree.
And it's uncommon. You don't see that effect at uncommon very often.
No.
There's a lot of other... Hunt the Week is the 4-mana...
Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and then it fights.
It's slightly better than it was in M15 was the last time we saw it?
Yep.
Or was it M14?
I think it was in both, in fact.
Okay, it's slightly better than it was in Core Set X, because there's a +1/+1 counters theme in this block.
Yep.
Sometimes +1, you might Hunt the Week and end up giving your thing Death Touch.
Or Lifelink.
or something like that. So I think it's quite a powerful spell overall.
I would agree.
Would you take it over a Savage Punch?
I think it's close. That's never going to happen. That decision doesn't exist.
True.
But I've been very impressed with Savage Punch, though.
That's fine.
This, like, Savage Punch only really works if you're ahead, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's not great.
You need
for
a 4-power
or a
creature.
party. This is okay if you're behind.
Yeah, you can make your 2/2 eat their 2/2, which Savage Punch can't do. So it's probably better in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, you can go turn 3 morph, turn 4 my morph, eats your morph, hit you for 3, turn 5 flip my morph up.
That's powerful.
Yeah, I think I might like Hunt the Week a little better. I can easily see those being words that I take back in 3 weeks' time.
Exactly. But Hunt the Week, definitely a high pick. Green doesn't get a lot of removal.
Nope.
Possibly less of a high pick in a format that's encouraging you to play 3 color, because you can get your removal from other colors.
Fair.
But still probably quite a high pick. Wild Slash, uncommon. It's Shock with some upside.
Which is unbelievable.
Yes.
Just by the way.
Shock is a good card, and any upside is fantastic.
Shock is an unbelievable card, because we're playing 3 mana for 2/2s.
Yes.
So I can go morph. Oisin, I'm on the play.
Are
Turn
you?
3 morph. Your turn. Turn 3 morph. My turn. Shock morph.
Yeah.
You lose the game.
Yeah.
You are astronomically behind.
The upside isn't super relevant in this set. The only thing it might make sense for is Channel Harm.
Yeah. If you control it, the upside is it has ferocious. So if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, damage cannot be prevented this turn.
Okay. So we've been through a lot of the removal. I haven't gone through all of the removal in the set. Pyrotechnics. These are things you can take a look at. Pyrotechnics, collateral damage, return to the earth, cunning strike, harsh sustenance. There's a lot of instant speed removal. A lot more than we've seen in cans. And that's something to be very aware of.
Because of the auras. That wouldn't have mattered much in cans.
No.
They can sort of tempo blow you out, like I've been saying, where you flip your morph up and then they kill it.
Savage Punch might be getting worse because there were so few ways to get blown out with a Savage Punch.
That's true.
There, like in Can's block, there was Throttle.
Bring low.
Bring Low often didn't do it if you were
Smite the
triggering
monsters.
ferocious. Smite the Monsters would do it, and Murderous Cut.
Santa Monsters will only do it if your creature didn't have 4 power beforehand.
Yes. So there weren't a lot of ways to blow out a Savage Punch or a Hunt the Week, for example, in Can's block. There are so many now.
There's certainly more, yeah.
So just I think Savage Punch probably goes down a little.
So that means Hunt the Week goes down even more because it costs 4.
Yes.
Although you can just do it when you know they don't have anything. When they're tapped out.
Yes. Still, I mean, it's still
because
fine.
none of it's cheap, really, is it?
There's cheap stuff. There's the Shock. There's
well, don't do it in 2/2 then.
Harsh Sustenance.
Isn't that an uncommon gold card?
It is a common gold card. It is a common black-white instant.
Yeah.
Friendly Fire is an instant.
Friendly Fire is an instant.
And Dousing Gloom as well.
Yeah, no.
Reality Shift. Valorous Stance.
So this stuff.
Channel Harm blows out a Savage Punch pretty hard.
Yeah, because
you fight my thing. My thing wins the fight because you don't deal any damage, and I kill your other thing as well. Quite often it'll just be it will work as a 2-for-1 quite often because you can go target the thing you're. Let's say if I'm casting Savage Punch, I'm assuming the fight's going to be an eat.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah, so if I can in response Channel Harm, prevent the damage, and do double damage to your thing, if you know what I mean. So you hit you target your 4/4 onto my 4/4. Yours becomes a 6/6. And I target your 6. You're now 6/6 with my Channel Harm.
Yeah. It'll
die, and so I'll have gotten a 2-for-1 at that stage. Yeah. So collateral damage lets you sacrifice a creature to bolt something, which is pretty good. With tokens running around, might not be as good as I think it is. I think Lightning Bolt's a very powerful card, so they probably want to put some downside on it. And this is fine. It's a fine card. You'll need to have, creatures you don't care about running around. There's there's some synergy there with the 1/1 that when it dies you manifest. There's some synergy there.
Sure.
We're assuming, as we talk here, that this is an overview for limited. We're assuming you can take a look at the spoilers yourselves. We're not going to go through every card for you.
Right.
So we will refer to other cards that we won't go into detail on.
Right.
But yeah, the removal is of higher quality and frequency than it was.
It's especially higher frequency because it's a small set.
Yeah. Like I made a list of every spell that I would call a removal spell in the set, and I'm counting now. And there are 18 removal spells at common and uncommon in a set of 185 cards.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know what that means for the format really.
Well, I mean, the format wasn't. It's not like it does make Savage Punch worse. It does make Hunt the Weak worse. We assume. I mean, out of those 18, we'll say maybe 5 or 6 maybe are instant.
There's quite a few that are instant actually. But yeah,
but again, we do only get 1 pack of this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a more concentrated pack, but it's still only 1 pack. The format is still going to be 2/3 cans of Tarkir.
That's important to remember. Except at your pre-release. Your pre-release, I believe, is 5 packs of
this
Fate Reforged, 1 pack of cans.
Which is what?
And one of those 5 packs is seeded with whatever clan you chose. And then there's the Yugen's Fate pack, but you don't get to play with that.
No.
So, yeah, you'll be playing a lot of Fate Reforged at the sealed. So the Fate, I imagine it's going to be a very grindy format at the pre-release.
Yeah.
So be prepared for that.
Tempo-wise, the format looks to be of a similar speed.
Yeah, I think
maybe a little.
The decks that were in cans that were tempo heavy, so the Teamer and the Jeskai decks, got better with Fate Reforged.
Fair.
I think in cans, if you had a decent grindy Abzan deck,
you'd be okay.
You were hard to beat. But
now you can whisk away the Abzan God and flip it up.
You can do like the Jeskai. I think I'm a little bit in love with Jeskai.
I know that.
Jeskai's my baby, and I think they got a lot better.
That's fair.
I think they can compete a lot with the Abzan and the Mardu decks now.
I think Teamer's gotten a lot better. Red has better removal, blue has better tempo, green still has fatties.
Red has better removal, but I think a worse overall card quality in this set.
That's fine.
I think there's a lot of cycles of which the red one's the worst.
But the green and the blue are fine.
Yes, agreed.
So I think this will make your Teamer decks better. Because I don't think Teamer is overpowered in original cans.
I think it's down there with Jeskai in the.
I disagree with that because the red green is a real archetype in cans.
Yeah,
just red green beats and Savage Punches and Awaken the Bears.
Sure.
And now they've just given us
Awaken the Options.
And
target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn and trample, or target non-attacking creature, which is a weird wording, gets reach and Death Touch and you untap it. So you can use it aggressively or defensively, and it's the same cost as Awaken the Bear.
Yep.
Powerful card. It's called Ruthless Instincts.
There's Ruth.
Hello, Ruth.
Remember Ruth from Ruthless Ripper? There she is.
Okay. So that's the removal. General impressions. Like I said, there's the parallels that we have. It seems like I do want to mention the rares in this set are powerful.
Right.
They're powerful and they're efficient for the most part. There's duds in every set, but most of the rares and mythics in Fate Reforged are super playable and super powerful. So I feel like a lot of the time you're going to be opening your pack and taking the rare.
That was true a reasonable amount of time in cans as well.
Agreed. But the other nice thing about the rares in Fate Reforged, which wasn't true in cans, is a lot of them don't lock you into a clan.
Yes. Fate Reforged, which I assume is setting us up for dragons, is much less multicolored.
Agreed. There, at common or uncommon, there are 5. There's a cycle of instants that are 2 colors, and that's it outside of rare.
So Fate Reforged is going to operate a lot more like a normal draft, and in that sense, you might not have chosen your clan by the end of your Fate Reforged draft.
I think the best strategy in Fate Reforged, I would think. This is just my guess.
I think I'm going to agree with you.
My guess is to draft an enemy color pair.
Yes, because that leads you to 2 clans in cans.
Yeah.
Also, because there's less fixing here, the lands aren't a common. They operate on the Dragon's Maze system.
Yeah. So what's happened? Not even quite the Dragon's Maze.
Quite. No.
So what's going to happen is you open your pack and you might see a basic land. You might see a life gain land. Or you might see a fetch land. You will never ever see a tri land in Fate Reforged.
No.
Which means them being in the sometimes basic land slot makes them a lot less frequently appearing than they were in cans.
Which means, and because this is the first pack you draft, that makes drafting 5 colours much more difficult.
Agreed.
Because normally what you do is you feel in the first pack, if the people at hands are going late, you can sweep them all up and then you just pick powerful cards.
Yep.
Now you'd have to, in theory, hedge on just picking powerful stuff and hope you get the fixing afterwards.
It does also make your pack 2
more
like
important.
your first pack of cans. It makes taking lands there quite important.
So I think if this is an indicator, decks are going to pull away from 3 colour into towards 2 colour with a splash.
Can we do some baseless speculation, Dennis?
Go for it.
I've heard some baseless speculation that I'm quite excited about. So you know the way the fetch lands that are showing up in the basic land slot are they're coming with cans expansion symbols on them, and they're the ally color fetch lands. And there've been hints all over the place that dragons may contain the enemy color fetch lands. Do you reckon we'll see enemy color fetch lands with dragons expansion symbols randomly showing up in that slot as well?
That would be cool.
That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
They don't tend to do that kind of thing anymore, though.
Surprise!
They did it with the Zendikar treasures and stuff, and they did it they do it with the spoil cards sometimes. But and I guess that the God pack's important. I guess they do that kind of thing. I don't think that'll happen.
You don't think that'll happen?
I think the fetch lands, if they're to be reprinted, will be more likely to be reprinted in Modern Masters 2.
I would disagree because the prevailing message from Wizards at the moment is they don't like doing incomplete cycles of lands in Standard. But anyway, we digress.
Don't they have an incomplete pain land cycle right now?
They do, yeah. They don't like doing it, though. Anyway, that is some baseless speculation I heard, and I think it's kind of
fair.
If you go to your pre-release and get a Scalding Tarn, tweet at us.
You don't think Fate Reforged is going to suffer from the Born of the Gods problem?
What do you mean by the Born of the Gods problem?
The Born of the Gods problem, where you have a super solid, quite high power first set, large set, and then a mediocre to low power second set.
I think this set is incredibly powerful. I think the power level in this set is very high.
I'm concerned that I think if you go back to our Born of the Gods, one of these, I think we might have said the same thing.
Did we do one of these for Born of the Gods? I don't think we did.
I think we did.
No, we didn't.
Was it too early on?
We started with M15, I think.
In that case, it would be very difficult to go back and listen to Born of the Gods one.
Because it doesn't exist.
Due to its lack of existence. I think I felt that same way about Born of the Gods.
I thought Born of the Gods was not strong.
I mean, spoiler alert, it wasn't strong.
No.
But
I think this set is powerful. I think it's very interesting design-wise. I think they, to be honest, a lot of the power is focused at rare. I think I was talking as a constructed player for a moment there. As limited player, it does expand on the themes of cans very nicely.
I think the commons and uncommons, barring the removal, seem to be weaker, on par or slightly weaker than cans.
Yeah, the creatures got weaker, I think.
That's due to the lack of 3-color go cards.
True.
All the best cards I'm thinking of are like Abzan Guy and Ponyback Brigade and
so I think this format probably pushes you more towards what was probably the best strategy in cans, which is to stick to a clan. Whichever clan is open, draft that clan.
And so do you remember in Dragon's Maze when you would pick 2 colors when you had the full block RTR? You would choose 2 colors that were in a
I just want to preempt you for a moment by saying I hated that format.
That's fine. I didn't mind that at all. But in Dragon's Maze, you would try to stick to a clan that would come up in your second pack, which was Gatecrash.
Yeah.
Do you think that we'll have the similar weighting here? We'll try to stick to an enemy color pairing.
I think I will almost always be trying to draft an enemy color pair in Fate Reforged purely because it leaves me more open for the cans packs. Like you say, the powerhouses in cans are the gold cards in the clans.
It's of note, if you're picking an allied color, you might as well just be picking all 3 of the colors in that clan.
Exactly, because an allied color puts you into only one.
Unless you're going to play a 2-color deck.
Yeah, but if you're going to play a 2-color deck, sure. But generally speaking, you want to be in an allied color, an enemy color. I beg your pardon. So that's for the uninitiated.
I'll put up a picture.
Black, white, red, blue, green, black, red, white.
No, black, white.
I did black, white, black, white, green, black.
If you look at the color pie and you pick any color, remove the 2 colors that are next to it. It's the other one.
Yeah. We'll have a little graphic maybe.
Will we?
Yeah. There's graphics all over the place for that.
Jesus.
Or look at the back of a Magic card, like.
Yeah, there you
go. Other things. There are no morphs in this set.
Not super relevant because there will be morphs in gameplay.
But it does add to the fixing issue.
Because morphs are guaranteed turn 3 play, regardless.
And when you have less of those... Because morphs are... what we learned from drafting cans was all the morphs are good.
Yep.
Any morph is good. Because it just smooths things out.
It's fine, yeah. It's just fine.
we're going to have less dual lands, less tri-lands, and we're going to have less morphs.
Is it going to play more like a normal... By normal, I mean non-3 color, non-fancy, whatever. Normal expansion.
But the problem is, you're going to want to play the 3 colors. It's going to be... I think with Fate Reforged, we're going to see shakier mana bases.
I would definitely... Well, we have one less pack of the common fixing.
And one less pack of morphs.
Yeah, and one less pack of morphs. Yeah, we will. So I think you need to adjust accordingly.
Lands become much higher picks in the cans packs.
Assuming you're in 3 colors.
And if you're not, then you want to make your deck as streamlined as possible.
I think it's going to be hard. I think it's going to be difficult.
It is going to be more difficult to get your deck balanced and correct than it was in cans, I believe.
I'm concerned.
Are you?
But I'm excited.
I think this set
unfortunately for me, because I don't like to interact with other human beings, this doesn't come out of Magic Online for a million years.
Are you going to come to the pre-release?
No.
No?
Nah.
Ah.
You know what comes out next month?
What?
You know what starts next month? Dragon spoilers.
Yeah, it goes very quickly. This set doesn't last...
March, actually. But it's close.
Yeah. So...
They pulled it forward.
Yeah, again, for those of you who don't know, when Dragons of Tarkir comes out...
That is
I was about to call it Dragon's Maze. When Dragons of Tarkir comes out in the spring, the draft format will become Dragons, Fate Reforged. You will not be drafting any cans with it. Which is probably the reason there's no morphs in this set. It seems like they're trying to phase out morph for dragons.
What they're doing is they're transitioning, I believe, because we've seen hybrid mana costs here.
Yeah.
They're transitioning from 3 color to 3 color with a little bit to monocolor. I would imagine dragons will be monocolor.
Or 2 color, or...
Well, hybrid mana. Hybrid mana makes you feel like they can just easily make it a monocolor set. And then you get this
I
nice
would be excited if hybrid mana became evergreen.
Yeah, fine.
Because it's just a good mechanic.
But then you get this nice flow from like very heavily multicolored to multicolored funnel and then funnel into monocolor.
Okay. We're almost done.
I would agree.
I need to have a rant.
I thought you were going to say you need to pee. But
I need to have a rant.
If you need to pee, I can pause the recording.
No. I can have this rant first.
All right.
So there was a card printed in Cans of Tarkir called Treasure Cruise.
Right.
Which was, people call it Ancestral Recall with Delve. Ancestral Recall being the Power 9 powerhouse, 1 mana instant draw 3 cards. This is Treasure Cruise has shown up in Eternal formats galore and Standard as well as a 1 mana draw 3 cards, right? And oh look, they've done it again. They've printed another one of the Power 9 with Delve on
right.
it.
I know where you're going.
They've printed another one of the Power 9 with Delve on it. They've broken the format. We're going to be able to play with the Power 9 in Standard. They're going to print... What's next? Delve Time Twister? Okay. We have a card in this set. It is a mythic rare.
Do you know what it's called?
It is called Temporal Trespass.
That's the one.
It's got a picture of Liliana on it, looking all evil. I didn't even know she was in the lore for this set. I didn't know she turned up.
I don't think that's Liliana.
You don't think that's Liliana? I think it's Liliana.
Person.
Looks like Liliana.
It does. It just looks like a black-haired woman.
But look, isn't that the chain veil that she's wearing?
She's just wearing a tiara. Anyway,
Temporal Trespass. What it says is 8.
No. Read the text first.
Okay. Temporal Trespass. Sorcery. Mythic rare. Take an extra turn after this one. Exile Temporal Trespass.
Fair enough.
Okay. I'm going to go back up now and come back to the text.
Yep.
Right? Because it costs 8 blue. With a CMC of, wait for it, 11. That's a lot. That's a lot of mana. How are you going to get that much mana, you ask? Well, it's got Delve on it.
Oh, Delve.
Convoke, that'd be kind of cool. Throwbacks.
That'd be crap.
No. It's got Delve on it.
Right.
So, you self-mill yourself for a bit, and then, I get to cash in all this self-mill work I've done and take an extra turn.
Hey, Oisin, you ever cast Time Walk in Powered Cube?
I have.
How'd that work out?
I probably lost that game.
It's not good. It's not bad. Hang on.
No.
It's pretty good.
It's a fine card.
It is. Sometimes it is akin to Explore.
Sometimes it is just Explore.
Which is draw a card, play an extra land.
Yeah.
Which is a fine card, but not amazing.
And sometimes it's Trumpet Blast is the closest analog I can think of. Like, this pushes through the extra damage I need to win the game now.
Sometimes it's, Aurelia. Remember Aurelia, her thing where you got a second combat phase?
Yeah.
That's that.
That's sometimes what it does.
But like that, even for constructed, sometimes it's I get to use all my planeswalkers again, blah blah. And now you're kind of cooking with gas.
Yeah.
For limited, exceptionally horrendous.
It does nothing
because it costs 11. Remember how difficult it was to cast Dead Drop? That costs 10.
Dead Drop is super powerful.
Yes.
Dead Drop got you card advantage.
Yes.
This doesn't.
Not even in constructed, Oisin?
I wouldn't put this.
Not even in your 100 card super self mill deck with your Sked the Borders
deck.
And your Sked the Borders and your Commune the Gods and
I still wouldn't play this card.
And your whips.
I wouldn't play this card. I think it's absolutely Like, someone's going to put it in a deck and it'll be like, oh, that's kind of cool, it does a thing because you're playing lots of planeswalkers that self-mill or something like that. I don't know. I think it's utter garbage and is a trap.
I don't think anyone's going to fall. Do you think a new player will be dazzled by the high mana cost and the take an extra turn?
Take an extra turn is a splashy effect.
I agree.
But
remember Time Warp?
5 mana,
take an extra turn.
Yeah. That was fine, but not good.
It's okay. That's pretty good. 11 is significantly more than 5.
And it... Yeah, I mean, there's so much delve fuel. Or not delve fuel, but delve payoff in this
that's
limited
better
environment.
than this.
Like...
Hooting Mandrills.
Sultai... What's it called? Sultai...
Scavenger. The bird.
The bird, yeah. Sultai Scavenger.
Dead Drop.
Treasure Cruise.
Treasure Cruise.
Is it common? That's a mythic. Anyway. Temporal Trespass, that was my little rant over.
I'm going to eat your words in the reprint Time Twister with Delve and Dragon's Dark.
Yeah. Black Lotus with Delve. Ugh, how
doesn't even work.
I don't know.
It costs 0.
Maybe it costs like 10. But why would you want that then? Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, that is...
I agree, I am deeply dissatisfied with Temporal Trespass.
Yeah, it's you're gonna open your pack and you're like, cool, what's my rare? I hope it's one of these clan leaders because they're super playable, or maybe one of these, maybe it's that Hell Rider with what's his face, Hell Rider with Master Warcraft stapled to him.
Yeah,
awesome card by the way. But no, I'm gonna get Liliana and her 11 mana staring at me.
So if you would like to send us in the post all your Temple Trespasses, I will make sure Oisin gets every single one of them.
That and your loyal Pegasuses.
Don't even.
Just for Denis.
I think we're done.
It feels like we're done.
Hopefully this has been like a visual roller coaster.
Or maybe you've got your eyes closed and you're sitting next to your laptop with your earphones in. Who knows?
In any case, we've had fun.
Haven't we just?
We hope you've had fun.
I couldn't care less.
I feel like I need a catchphrase here, like keep it crispy or stay sassy, or
that's the way the cookie
keep
crumbles.
On slamming those windmills or whatever.
Slamming those windmills.
I don't know. Is that like is that a vandalism thing or a porn thing? Like, what is that?
May all your first picks be Temporal Trespass.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't have a catchy catchphrase.
Quick, be snappy.
Shut the fuck.
Ooh. Alright. Thanks for watching. Back to your regular scheduled programming next week, which will depressingly probably be just cans again.
The pre-release is not out of Magical Land the following week?
Oh, maybe it is.
I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll figure it out.
Tune in next week.
Whoa! Thank you for watching. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.